Tonight, a demonstration was made in front of the White House. It showed they can control innocence. It was a direct threat. Hi, I'm Craig, and this is Just Informed Talk. We're going to get right into the new Q post because we got a lot to cover. But I just want to start, as I always do, by thanking everyone who has come here and hit the subscribe button. If you haven't yet, I encourage you to come here, hit the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as I get the information, you'll get the information. But we have brand new Q posts that we're going to get into, and let's jump right in. First, stay together, be strong, get organized. Blow that up for you guys. Sorry about that. It says, get organized, be heard, fight the censorship. You, the people, have all the power. You simply forgot how to play. Together you are invincible. They want you divided. They want you silenced. Make noise. We are with you. Make it rain. Q. Well, I think what he's directly referencing is the censorship that's been going on. We all are aware, especially those of you who are more into the YouTube platform or other social media platforms, where you get a lot of your information from sources like me and others who are doing our best to get out the real news and what is verifiable, and we go through it all together. But he wants us to make noise, and he wants us to make it rain. So do with that as you will. That's pretty self-explanatory. Now, zebra, bring the thunder, killbox, brackets, 1A-23X bracket, light underscore T underscore 1A-23-go 5Q. I'm going to leave that for people who know what that's referring to. You guys, please, if you have any thoughts on this, let me know in the comments, because I've tried to break down a lot of the information in these posts, but some of it is coded, and I leave it to a lot of the autists, the Redditors, the Pepes, my Kekistanian folk. You guys do your work, okay? Now, next one. What I say, a class action lawsuit. Remember this, okay? We'll come back to it. When is it effective? Who controls the narrative? Who wrote the singular censorship algorithm? Who deployed the algorithm? Who instructed them to deploy the algorithm? Same embed across multiple platforms. Why? Why is the timing relevant? Where is @Snowden? Why did Eric Schmidt leave Google? Why is North Korea out of the news cycle? Why has North Korea out of the news cycle? Remember that one too. It says define false flag. What events changed the news cycle? Why didn't Las Vegas change the news cycle? You have more than you know. Boom. Q. Okay. So first, let's break this down. We'll start with this first one. In order to break down, we'll go to the next one. The next one says, where we go one, we go all. Misspellings matter. Sentence formation matters. Learn. Q. So I'm trying to put together what these two kind of the sentence formation here, where it's grammatically kind of incorrect. If you guys can help me out, I think it's referring to like what I say, a class action lawsuit. That doesn't really make much sense. Looking at what class action lawsuits I could find, there's one that really stood out to me, and it's one that's on change.org here for organizing a class action lawsuit against YouTube for unreasonable censorship. And then it goes through in here. It says YouTube is increasingly censoring and demonetizing content creators without explanation. It can be demonstrated that some censored content does not in any way, shape, or form violate YouTube's community guidelines. By the United States Justice Department's guidelines for determining a monopoly power, YouTube seems to fit the definition. Quote, notwithstanding that a high share of the relevant market does not always mean that monopoly power exists, a high market share is one of the most important factors in the department's examination of whether a firm has or has a dangerous probability of obtaining monopoly power. A high share indicates that it is appropriate to examine other relevant factors in this regard. If a firm has maintained a market share in excess of 2/3 for a significant period, and market conditions, for example, barriers to entry, are such that the firm's market share is unlikely to be eroded in the near future, the department believes that such evidence ordinarily should establish a rebuttal presumption that the firm possesses monopoly power. This petition is to determine if there are enough content creators who are interested in finding legal counsel in order to organize a class action lawsuit against YouTube. So that was kind of like what popped out to me, especially given what we're going to cover next in the Q posts. But you guys do with that what you may. Maybe you guys can fill me into on what this spelling. I tried everything. You know, I've been looking at it all different ways. I'm not sure. And then down here it says, why has North Korea out of the news cycle? So he could have put, why has North Korea been out of the news cycle? So yeah, you guys want to help me out with that, that'd be great. So then it's who controls the narrative? Well, the MSM, mainstream media, so on and so forth. Basically, at this point, it's Google, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And it says, who wrote the singular censorship? Well, you know, it seems like it's suggesting that maybe Snowden had something to do with this, that he may be the one who has written this singular censorship algorithm that seems to have been passed out to all of the big 4 social media giants who have, and I think what it says, why is timing relevant? I think this is all in response to Trump announcing that he's running for re-election in 2020. Not that it's a big shock to us, but this is going to be their way, in my opinion, that they will work to silence the dissenting opinions that occur across all of their platforms that actually seem to have had a huge effect on the outcome of the 2016 election, helping Donald Trump become president. Now, whether or not this is what that's referring to, I can leave that to you guys, but that's what it's, in my opinion, that's what it seems to be suggesting. Define a false flag. Well, according to Wikipedia, it says, refers to a covert operation or covert operations designed to deceive. The deception creates the appearance of a particular party, group, or nation being responsible for some activity, disguising the actual source of responsibility. And, I mean, that's the general gist of it. So, just for all you guys out there who are new to this stuff, you know, a lot of the people aren't aware of a lot of what's going on here, so we need to treat it like we're starting at the beginning, but continue to cover the information as it becomes available. What events change the news cycle? Well, the events that just happened, it's kind of funny that he points out, but obviously it was this shooting in Florida, and that did change the news cycle, and now, you know, you see where we're at. How nobody's talking about Russia, nobody's talking about the collusion or quote unquote collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians. I mean, if they are, it's not nearly as loud as all the other coverage of other things. And Q's giving us these insinuations. I'm going to leave that to you in the comments. I really would like to hear what you guys have to say, so let me know about that. Okay? Now, we do have more than we know. I think we have more hints and clues about future events than we'll ever be able to realize, and this is a part of it, going through each and every one. So, let's go up to the next one. It says, a demonstration was made today in front of the White House. It showed they can control innocence. It was a direct threat. This is not a game. The mainstream media is creating emotional conflict. This destabilizes certain minds to become susceptible or suspectable to outside control. It's another one of his misspellings. Suspectable. Okay. To outside control. What you see is 2%. The war is real. These people are sick. Watch the news this week. Q. So, is the general insinuation here obviously referring to, let me see if I can pull up this. Man shoots himself outside of White House, and the report goes to say that a man fired several shots. Purportedly, none of them were at the White House, but and then he decided to take his own life. And there's multiple news agencies that have reported this, but this one actually just had some video from outside the White House and of the people running away, which obviously that's something that is crazy. Now, okay, so is it possible that what Q is inferring here, and I couldn't find the suspect's name, the person who committed suicide, I don't think they've made that public yet. Was he somehow a suspect and they pushed him over the edge to go and do this? It's yet to be determined. This information is really hot off the wire, and we're going to need to go through it all together, but you can read through this. It's, even if it's not some kind of operation, let's say, the way that we have divided this country along so many lines so that there is the literal embodiment of divide and conquer has come. And I think they realize that if they can divide us, then they make us weak. So that's why I reach out to every single person who's on both sides of the aisle. I reach out to everyone out there who is a doubter. Come read these posts, see the proofs of Q for yourself, check out some of my videos, look through the content, check it out for yourself. And when you start doing the research, you may come to a whole another set of conclusions than what you're being told on the mainstream narrative. So I'm going to leave that there. But the war is real. What we see is 2%. So I guess, what we see on the news is only 2% of the story, which would make sense because we have such little information that the guy just shot a bunch of bullets in there and then took his own life. But these people are sick. Yes, the people, the Luciferians, the pedophiles, the elite, globalists, yes, they are sick. And we need to watch the news cycle this week. I think we need to watch the news cycle this week for more to come out on this shooting. And then we need to take those crumbs and try to build something. So I'll leave that to all you autists out there. Now, moving on to the next post, it says, reality is labeled as conspiracy. You are made to feel crazy. You are told to obey. You are sheep to them, pawns to be sacrificed. Remember, we are winning. Do not trust what you read. Mind warfare. Up is down. Left is right. Boom, Q. And I think that's, obviously referring to the fact that, if you can, it's almost crazy if you can turn on CNN and then turn on Fox and see just there the split, the dichotomy between those two channels, where you have one reporting one set of facts and another reporting a different set of facts, and then in conjunction they have they don't mesh, they don't come together, they don't co-align. And then you can go into a platform like here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc., and find a plethora of new and contradictory ideas that will lead you down a whole nother set of logical facts, a different set of facts, basically. So, and then when you said it's funny because he's saying in plain terms here, a majority, I'm going to say there's a lot of crazy conspiracy theorists on all these platforms, and a lot of racists, and it's, I mean, it's a small minority, but there's a good amount. And I even get some coming toward me, and I have to look through it and use my own judgment to know what is reliable and what is far-fetched. But you know, we have to understand that what is being told to us here is the whole game. The game is to make us feel like we're crazy, to make us obey, to be used as pawns, to be sacrificed, trust that we are winning. This right here, this cue, this board, these posts, this information is what's going to help us defeat these people. And I really want you all to stick around for that. Now, we're going to get right into the next post here. We have some pretty crazy stuff, so we'll just keep going. And there's some other things here that we can go through. For instance, why did Eric Schmidt leave Google? Here, it says no, these. So this is where he resignation amid his personal life is being eyed. Reports amid reports his personal life is being eyed. I've seen several videos and read a few interesting pieces that allude to the fact that Mr. Schmidt may have been involved with something a lot more nefarious than we all could imagine, or we all I couldn't even imagine. But I don't know. That's pure speculation. I'm going to leave that to you guys in the comments to do that with that as you will. Now, and we're going to get into all this, but, you know, this is what I think this algorithm thing is talking about. We have this singular censorship algorithm, which apparently was deployed across all platforms, which to me, and we'll see it later in the posts here, but it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Google. And what they did is they had this, which was Eric Schmidt's, his fledgling idea back. This is an article that was written in 2015. And it says Google chairman wants algorithms to censor the internet for hate speech. Why have they been launched? Well, it's like what we talked about before. This is the attempt to preemptively fight the grassroots, the organic spread of information, the will of the people who want to be able to contribute their thoughts and let their thoughts work inside of a free market, let their thoughts disseminate across all platforms in a organic and I want to say like a merit-based way where if you're putting up content that people want to see, then you should be able to have that content spread freely as far and wide as you can possibly imagine. Now, is this the beginning of the end of free speech? No. Our constitutional rights will always be protected. Is this going to be a battle that we're going to have to fight for our free speech? Yes. Okay? And we're fighting that every day by doing what we can. I work on these videos. I work on getting the information, spreading it. However you do it is how you do it. But if we all come together and, like, just for instance, just take this one video, this one channel, comment. You know, they can't stop us from speaking to one another. They can only censor so much, you know, and we're not here to I didn't turn over my rights to free speech. I won't do that. I'll continue to report the news as I see it coming, and I hope everybody continues to support me because you can see here where, you know, YouTube is struggling with its advertisers because the advertisers are feeling pressure from people, apparently according to this article by Bruce Herring at the Deadline Hollywood website. Now, I don't know how much of this is actually verified, but He quotes some of the YouTube and CNN affiliates, and it paints the picture of this, okay, without getting into too much detail about it. The picture that is painted is such. Apparently, people at different news organizations are pressuring YouTube, but not directly. It seems that they have chosen to pressure advertisers on YouTube by pointing out that their ads are being run over controversial videos and content. Now, we can debate all day whether or not it's okay to do that or not, because there is some freedom of being a private company and choosing what you can and can't do. But on the other hand, a lot of people have argued that YouTube should be treated as a utility, and as we read earlier, it could be construed that YouTube may actually be in possession of a monopoly over this area of information dissemination, or social media platforming, however you want to call it, video distribution. So if that is the case, we all need to look at this through a more calm and rational viewpoint. We can't get ahead of ourselves and start demonizing YouTube as a whole, or any people, because there's a lot of forces at play here. They're just one of many, and it's a coordinated effort that I believe we need to look at more broadly and not just singularly point to it as one entity. It's all of these entities working together, as is pointed out here by Q, talking about a singular censorship algorithm that's been deployed across multiple platforms. So, and it's the same embed. So I'll leave that there. You guys do with that as you may. Now, let's get into the next one. Very funny how technology seems to not work when you cover certain things, but as my mic just cut out and my program for putting this video together just froze, and I'm back. And every time that happens, it's when I'm about to make some good points, and it seems it's a way to stifle thought and to, I don't know, it's just really weird. I don't like it. I'm not going to get into that because that's a whole nother issue for a whole nother video at a whole nother time. So here we go. It says the bridge 187. I've done a few videos about the bridge. I've had a few different things. Now, you guys, a lot of people saw my video. I think it's got like over 50,000 views, referring to the Bridge Community Center at Stanislaus State in California in Modesto. Now, I've been pointed to a few new things. You guys should all look up the stickers in, I want to say it's Turlock, 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 which is right in that area, and how people are just freaking out about their rights being, I don't know, it's all this crazy people going to city councils and talking about how hate speech shouldn't be allowed. It's basically like the mayor signed off on some law against hate speech, which I don't know how you control people's First Amendment rights that way. That seems very unconstitutional to me. You guys do the research for yourself. There's a lot of info about it, but I'm going to move on. Now, 187, was the bridge closed? Was there an operation named the bridge that was some nefarious actors doing something bad, and it was targeted and shut down? A lot of that's still yet to be seen. But he goes on to say, and I'll read through this whole thing now. Bridge 2, at Snowden, clowns, the link, Google, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Russia, ICBM tech. Now, the Russia ICBM stuff is pointing to this. Putin has threatened the U.S. with a new arms race, and he says he has technology that can uh, get through any missile defense system. Well, good for you, Mr. Putin. I don't think that you want to know what we have. And if you do, you should be scared. Okay? I'm going to leave it at that. But it goes on. It says HRC open source, special access programs, John Podesta, Tony Podesta, highest levels of U.S. government, Uranium One, North Korea. Why would Russia tell the world why? About this, I think. Why is Susan Rice back in the news? Well, what is Susan Rice back in the news for? Susan Rice sent that email to herself documenting a meeting between Obama, Comey, and Yates after being directed to do it by the White House. And what was that meeting about? Well, this is great. The meeting was about, allegedly, them deciding whether or not to withhold information from the incoming administration, i.e. Donald Trump, regarding FBI surveillance tactics and Russian meddling. Can't make this stuff up. They sat down and had a meeting as to what they could or couldn't tell the President of the United States. I'm pretty sure the President has the highest level of clearance in government. So, yeah. That's what that's referring to, I think. It says, why is Sessions acting weak? Why? Inspector General report, no legit leaks. Mainstream media is staging a narrative. The Inspector General appointed by Sessions for what, I guess he's implying? Why? Why? Enjoy the show. Dead cat bounce. All right, so Trump calls Sessions. Now, Trump tweeted at Sessions basically saying it was a disgrace that he handed off the surveillance abuse allegations to the Inspector General, knowing full well that the Inspector General could form an investigation that could take 6 months to 2 years, I guess, to finish. And if you think about it from the perspective of Trump's reelection hopes, he could have this albatross looming over him from here until before the election, the next election. And I think Trump realizes that could negatively affect his chances, and I think it's Jeff Sessions showing his true colors. I don't know if he's referring to him acting weak because it's a ploy, it's a play. You feign weakness when you're strong, but it didn't seem like Donald Trump was very happy with that. And for all of you who don't know what a dead cat bounce is, I had to look it up myself, so don't feel bad. But it says a dead cat bounce is a temporary recovery in share prices after a substantial fall caused by speculators buying in order to cover their positions. So, are we going to see a big jump in the stock market this week? Would that be another proof of Q that we can look to and say he's telling us that he has foreknowledge of events and that he can read the globalist agenda and give it to us in order for us to put it out there so that it becomes known in the public domain? I'll leave that to you guys. But, going through all this, HRC's open source, that's the whole investigating the server where special access program information was left, almost like a dead drop, where foreign actors probably, and this is allegedly paid for access to the Clinton Foundation, and then they put it on the server, and then it could be easily picked up by any foreign intelligence agency. John Podesta and Tony Podesta, to me, just a personal opinion, I think they're both very suspicious. Having seen the things I have regarding John Podesta's emails, Tony Podesta's emails in WikiLeaks, so on and so forth, it would lead one to believe that there's so much more corruption that we are just getting into, and not to mention the things that I don't even want to mention on this channel because to give them the light of day, other than to say the Luciferian pedophilia, abuse, the human trafficking, things like that. They will come to light, and but that'll be for a whole nother day. Even though we're fighting it actively by exposing it as we see it. Now, uranium one in North Korea. Like I said in one of my last videos, that if you guys want to go check out, go look through my video library. There's a lot of information there. But it seems that it would be logical to state that it is possible that uranium one in North Korea, so the uranium one deal was not just getting uranium to Russia. It was getting uranium to Russia so it could be given to Iran. And that North Korea is somehow affiliated with the payouts on that deal. But that is still speculative and still yet to be seen. We have so much more to look at. If we look backwards, and future will prove past, so we need to look back. But I don't want to get into all that because this is getting to be a pretty long video, and I want to keep this relatively palatable for most viewers. Now, that's where I'm going to leave that. What's the Inspector General, this whole thing, we'll see how that all plays out, but I'll leave that for you guys. Now, the next post, which is fascinating. So the next post goes to this picture, okay? Now, I'm just going to read through this because it's fascinating, okay? It says, how do we know Q is real? A white hat, not a part of the silent coup, desperately trying to take down a duly elected sitting U.S. president because he's been proving it like this for months. Hashtag QAnon, whatever. That it says, this is the first thing you look at, is have you not discovered the confirmed correlation between posts here and tweets yet? And then it says, fascinating. On January 13th, Q asked if we trusted the chain of command. Today, Department of Defense tweeted about National Geographic's airing of Chain of Command, and there just happened to be a coffee mug with the letter Q, right? And this is the post that Q put up January 13th. Do you trust the chain of command? Have faith. We are in control. Now, this is the Twitter post from the Department of Defense, which is at DEPT of Defense. And this is the little video. I went and looked it up myself. I couldn't spot the mug, but I think this is just a screenshot, and it was pretty much like a very second flash. And yeah, you see it right here, right? And then it goes into 3. It says, here's the mug, right? So that is just another proof of Q saying, look, I'm showing you. It says we are everywhere, Q. Well, you don't think that maybe that was a little message that was sent? Let's get into the next one. It says, expand your thinking. Who leaked Vault 7 to WikiLeaks? Who returned fire? Operation name Fiddler. At Snowden. Mission 1, infiltrate. Mission 2, centralize. Mission 3, secure. Mission 4, expose to harm. Date, White House interference, White House directive. Mission 5, Russia link. 2013 timelines of event, 1/17/14. Think, learn. Mission 6, Fiddler is greater than Ghost Prime. Mission 7, classified. Mission 8, whistleblower traps, jobs. C-35767K. Mission 9, censorship. Classified plus replay. Q. Now, a lot of this, I've been racking my brain to get through as far as figuring out what it's referring to, but there's a lot here that can be pulled just off the top. Now, who leaked Vault 7 to WikiLeaks? Well, I don't know. Is it at Snowden? Did he do it? What is Operation Fiddler? This is a good one. According to an article here in the Jerusalem Post, it says Operation Fiddler was an Israeli Defense Force band performs in the Red Square before tens of thousands for the first time. So back in 2009, it seems that the Israeli Defense Force sent a marching band to Russia to play. You know, that in and of itself is pretty innocuous, but what if there was something going on behind the scenes? What if deals were being made? What if negotiations were being had between the IDF and the Russians? And that they were concocting this Snowden ruse? This is a great question, okay? How does this all connect? Now, it seems that Snowden's mission from the beginning was to infiltrate. So first he infiltrates the NSA, whatever. Then his second mission was to centralize information, I guess. Then his third was to secure the information. Then expose to harm. I'm not sure what this date, White House interference, and all that stuff is referring to. You know, there's a lot here. I need help with this one, actually, because I've been looking at it and I'm trying to figure out exactly what it's referring to. But then Mission 5 is the Russian link, right? Now, what happened on January 17, 2014? Well, that I'll tell you. Okay, what happened that day would be right here. On January 17th of 2014, Barack Obama gave a speech on reforming the NSA. Now, you can go through it. It's pretty much the normal stuff you would hear, but it's a very interesting thing to look at this paragraph right here. It says, what I did not, and this is a transcription of the speech, so this is verbatim what he said. It says, quote, what I did not do is stop these programs wholesale. He's talking about the surveillance programs. What I did not do is stop these programs wholesale. It says not only because I felt that they made us more secure, but also because nothing in that initial review and nothing that I have learned since indicated that our intelligence community has sought to violate the law or is cavalier about the civil liberties of their fellow citizens. Well, I would say a lot of the stuff that's coming out recently, especially from Q, has been almost completely contradicting that. And I don't know how Russia's inserted themselves in this, whether there was deals made behind the scenes with the IDF and Russia and Snowden and the CIA, but we have to understand that there's something more to this. Now, Mission 6 is Fiddler is greater than Ghost Prime, and I think what that's referring to is that the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, is bigger, stronger, and more influential on the world stage, unbelievably, than MI6 British intelligence. Because I think the Ghost Prime is referring to the Ghost Prime Minister of Britain. It's funny because the only reason I was able to put that together is I found this article where, and this was from 2017, where it's referring to the Ghost Prime Minister, Theresa May, and this is kind of a call for her to step down, kind of a piece out of the mirror. But that's what I put together with that so far. I'm not sure if that connects correctly. I would look to you guys to help me out with that. Mission 7, get the classified information. Mission 8, the whistleblower traps, which I think was like Secure Drop and John Perry Barlow and what we've covered in previous videos. If you haven't seen that, you need to go back and look at my other videos. Then Mission 9 is censorship, and I think that's where we're at. They've initiated the censorship. So almost all 8 of these missions have been enacted, and we're finally at the last one. And I don't know, the classification plus relay, you guys have to help me out with that one. Maybe it's just we need to relay this information, but I mean, you guys do with that as you may. Now this cuts to a video We've all seen it. I'll play a little clip for you.
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself.
Yeah, so you guys have seen that video. I encourage you all to go check it out. Pop this link right in. You'll take right into it. Be taken right to it. But it says, listen carefully. Trust. We are fighting for you. God bless you all. Q. That's perfect. So now, getting back into the latest posts. Now it's boom. Q. Right? And he says, do you trust the mainstream media? Do you trust Facebook? Do you trust Google? Do you trust YouTube? Do you trust Twitter? Narrative. Censorship. Do not blindly believe. Fake. They want you divided. Together you are strong. Apart you are weak. Organize, challenge, fight. Do you think Antifa was grown organically? Purpose. Watch the news this week. So is he suggesting that we're going to see some news about Antifa coming up here? Here's an article out of the Daily Caller, and it's going over the connection between Soros, Kellogg, Ford Foundations to anti-Trump resistance groups. And one of the groups that is allegedly affiliated to these individuals is the Antifa. Now, I'm pretty sure we all know that Antifa has been labeled a domestic terrorist organization, and that their means and tactics are very questionable. So, was it organic? No, I don't think so. Personally, my opinion would be that it was a direct response to the Trump administration and a way to fight and counteract their mandate to protect the Constitution and the American people. So that obviously is a part of it, but we all do need to stand together. We need to not believe, blindly believe things. We need to look deeper. We need to fight the censorship. And we do need to organize and challenge and fight. And we're going to see what comes out this week. I think that I'm going to watch the news for two things this week, based on what I've heard here on Q. I'm going to watch for this dead cat bounce. We're going to have a sharp recovery. And I'm also going to look for news about Antifa. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the whole shebang there. So thank you guys for watching. I just want to say thank you to each and every one of my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please come here, hit the red button, click the bell for notifications. I'll get these videos to you as soon as the information becomes available to me. If you can't do that, at least comment. Let me know what you think. That's what really helps this channel grow and continue to get better and better. But ultimately, I like to end here with a couple words about the Lord. God loves you, and Jesus loves you, and if you open your heart to them and bring them in, you will be blessed. God will provide so many blessings, but all it takes is you opening your heart to Him and enacting it daily in your life. He will forgive people for sins. You always, pretty much everyone is redeemable to the Lord. And if you just open your heart up, you'll see that the blessings will come flooding in. And I speak from personal experience. As soon as you open that door, the relationship will only grow stronger, and you will become so much stronger, not just in faith, but in principle and reason and morals. So it's a worthwhile endeavor. For those of you who don't have the Lord in your heart, or doubt, or skeptic, or don't believe, I pray for you. But I encourage you to read the Bible. Even if you're skeptical, at least read it and see what's in there. and see if it can help you in your life. And I'm willing to bet that there's a lot more in there that can help you that you don't even realize. So I'm going to leave it there. I want to say thank you all for watching. I'm Craig. This has been Just Informed Talk. Good night, Godspeed, and God bless.